going into the playoffs? That's the first kind of thing, kind of what's the mindset? I know you guys are kind of already locked in, but you want to keep momentum today. Just kind of like, what's the mindset going into tonight, and what is something that you guys kind of want to make sure you carry over into playoffs once you guys get there?
I think playing for 40 minutes. I think that there can't be drop-off in the energy or effort department. I think if we're going to do it, we got to do it and go all out with it from an effort standpoint. And I think that should never drop off no matter who you play, no matter what junction of season you're in. And I think that that's our focus where it should be.
A little bit about yourself, obviously having an incredible season. I mean, you've had an incredible career, but picked it up even more. What kind of was your mindset, or kind of what did you think overall kind of coming into this year? Some fresh faces, bigger expectations.
Yeah.
And didn't start off how you guys are now. So I'm just curious, what were your thoughts as you began this season?
Oh man, my thoughts were kind of all over the place. I know I kind of went through my own stuff before the season had started, and so I came in ready to work, man. I came in with one mindset, and that was just the work, and that was learning who these ladies were and figuring out how we could be a great team. And my mindset always was on the prize, though. I don't think I ever waver from this team could be great. I think it did take some time, which you guys know, but I think that the mindset was always the same, come in here and work and try to figure out what the best that we can.
Adjusting your role, how did that process go? Because it's a little bit different than what you were doing before.
Oh man, I think it's the same for me. As long as the ball go in the hole and I can find a way to get there, I think that having new faces and having a high value PG obviously open things up in a positive way. I think I can play with other great players too, and so I embrace that. You have fun with that, and I think the new faces, Kaylin, even AB still being young and Liz being young, they still are learning the ropes, and so I try to be that leader for that. But I always thought we would play a up-tempo, fast pace, and you guys get to see it now. So.
Mm-hmm. What are you most proud about the way, or a facet of your game that developed this year that you're most satisfied, most proud about, whatever you want to call it?
I don't know, man. I think I really take pride in playing both sides of the ball. I don't like to waver from going to get a bucket and then giving it up. That would cancel out, obviously. So I think the biggest facet is me being able to play both ends and still have that confidence to go get what I need, or we go get what we need on the offensive end. But I think defensively, I think I've tried to do a really great job of playing at a high level and having my teammates do that too. If we can get a stop on defense, we can get whatever we want on offense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the mindset.
One last one, and I'll share. I think people are close to the game, and people, opponents and everybody who's close to the league knows what you can do and knows what you've done over your career. But I think you're starting to get a little bit more shine from maybe the casual fan, and maybe some folks who maybe didn't know or haven't seen Indiana as much as they've seen this year.
I agree.
So what's that part like? Getting that little bit more attention and getting a little bit more shine and getting the recognition that you deserve, but maybe weren't necessarily getting before.
No, it's a great question. I think that I think the reality of it is that I don't think people would know without C squared. So shout out to Caitlin. That's just the reality. I think she's done an unbelievable job of bringing obviously her own fans and people that support her. But for me, I kind of laugh at it and I embrace it at the same time, because I've always kind of flew under the radar. I've always kind of been that person or that player, very conservative, very an introvert. So now I get to see the flip side of it. And it's kind of funny. I can laugh about it because I know it's come from a genuine place, but I embrace it from a standpoint of people not guaranteed to see me play, and now that they do, I just hope I do right by it. I just hope I don't F it up.
It's a little bit like, hey, see what y'all been missing? That's what you got to start telling them. See what y'all been missing?
Maybe, I got you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, hi, I'm Emma. Choosing to stay here a couple years ago when you signed that multi-year extension, what does it mean to kind of see everything come to fruition and know that now?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, that re-signing, that kind of flew under the radar too. And so I knew what my mindset was and the vision I believed in. At the time, it was a shift in leadership, and so I took a leap of faith, really. But I knew I was committed to the process, and I knew that, Fever had, a ways to go, and I wanted to be a part of that. And so now I look back on it in the last year, I was like, hey, maybe it was worth it. But I'm excited about the decision I made to, take on the extension.
Yeah, and just what is Sunday going to mean to you to have been here and poured so much in and to finally experience?
Man, it'll be an experience from a standpoint I've never been a part of it. So the spectacle, the fans, that'll be new for me. And so I'll be like a kid in a candy store probably. But ultimately, I got a legacy to uphold. I got a legacy to keep. And, that's my dad.
Yeah.
And so my mindset and my focus is to go and, have that maintained focus for 40 minutes and compete, not for myself, but the Fever. But, ultimately, I got a lot to fight for. So my mindset is to go and compete for 40 minutes and, do my best. I'm going to give my best.
And, in a challenging personal year like this, what has basketball meant to you, and what has it meant to have this as a space for you?
Oh, man, it saved my life. I was able to come here and find a way to, put all my problems on the bench. And obviously, I was able to go and, use the floor and everything it brought to me and kind of just go back to my roots. I was able to, take my mental and let the game take me there and grasp it. But it's been a really trying year for me, but I think basketball saved it because I was able to find something that I loved, and that's always going to be hoops. So I'm cool. I take it.
And is there anything you'd want to share about your season that you think people aren't talking about enough or that you think deserves more shine?
No, if y'all see it, y'all probably got it.
On a night like this where, you guys have, already clinched your spot, playing so well, so I assume you want to keep up that level.
Sure.
It's just how do you kind of approach it where you don't necessarily have anything on the line, but you don't want any drop-off going into playoffs, which is going to start in a couple days?
Yeah, that's what we keep talking about, the momentum, right? Like, we haven't played in a few days. We've had a day off, and then we had a light practice yesterday. You want to keep whatever we need to do to prepare for Sunday, right? Like, we're not trying to look past this game, but like you said, like we've locked in that 6th seed. We're just waiting to see where we go now. But these guys need to have some burn in them. Like, they've got to keep, going to play, 40 minutes as hard as we can, whoever's out there.
You guys have obviously been playing so well since the break. What is kind of the biggest thing that you're most proud of the way you guys have played as of late?
Most proud of the fact, I don't know if you've heard kind of what goes on out here with these guys, but it's pretty incredible. It didn't sound like this when we first started. It just wasn't that comfort level, just, being a team, that chemistry. For me, that's what I'm most proud of, and I really think that because of that and what they've established together as a team is the reason we've gotten the wins that we've gotten. They've grown, their habits have gotten better. We've made sure that we just keep talking about creating good habits and just making sure that on both ends of the floor that we're doing whatever we need to do. We've really focused on the defensive end because that's where we were really struggling early. We spent a lot of time on that end. They bought into that end of the floor. So between them and their team chemistry and what that feels and sounds like out there, and then also the defensive end of the floor, I think we've just, those are the two areas I'm most proud of.
Last one, and I'll shut up. Kelsey, Kelsey's growth, she's always been an incredible player.
Yeah.
She has kicked it up another notch, and you guys have taken her off the ball. Just what part of her growth stands out the most to you?
I tell her it all the time, but her wanting to be the best defender that we have out on the floor, which is, you wouldn't, like, Kelsey is a scorer. She's going to get to the rim. She's going to knock shots down, but she takes a lot of pride on that end of the floor now, and that's really helped us be able to make this jump on that end of the floor, and she demands it out of her teammates as well. Like, she's talking a lot of defense, especially in the huddles. I hear her a lot of times that she's talking defense, and that's new, and that's exactly what we've needed from her.
Cool. I'll shut up.
And staying on the subject of Kelsey, what is most striking to you about it? Is it her increase in efficiency, especially coming out of the break? Just how much more efficient she's been as a shooter lately?
Yeah, I mean, she's been a great shooter since she's picked up the basketball, and that's just what she does. I think a lot of it has to do with, she has players around her that draw attention. So we're able to find Kelsey in moments where before, every team was locked on her and they weren't letting her get loose. And now you have to make a decision. How are you going to guard certain things, which is giving Kelsey a lot of space. I mean, and she's such an excellent shooter. She's just knocking those shots down, or she's taking people off the dribble. She's getting to the rim. She's also finding people when people are closing out on her or doubling off of her. She's doing a great job of getting off of it and then getting the ball back.
And obviously this playoff spot means a lot to everyone, but for her, I know you were here as an assistant before, and those early years that were a big struggle for everyone. What does it mean to see her on that spotlight finally after as much as she's given?
Yeah, she's been through a lot. I mean, she has stuck with this organization. She has, always come in and been an unbelievable professional, come in, do whatever's needed. For her to play the way she's playing right now, to experience the success that she's having, both personally and as a team, it's just one of those stories. Like I couldn't be more proud of her and everything she's gone, that's happened with her in this last year. I mean, two year in a row All-Star. Now, helping getting this team to the playoffs. She's a huge key to that. The reason we're there. Just really proud of her.
Is there anything you think she doesn't get enough credit for, or that's not talked about as much in her game?
I don't think we don't talk enough about Kelsey Mitchell. I think in general, a lot of times, and whenever I have the opportunity, I'm always going to find a way or a reason to talk about Kelsey Mitchell. That's just how important she is to our team and to our organization and where we want to go. I mean, we've made the playoffs this year, and that's our start, but this young team, we've got a really bright future if we can, just keep improving on both ends of the floor and keep growing together.
I was just asking Christie the same thing. You guys are locked into your spot, but you obviously want to kind of keep your momentum as you guys kind of go into the playoffs. So kind of how do you approach this game where it's like nothing on the line, but you guys want to continue to stay on this roll because you don't want to lose that edge going into the playoffs?
I think you said it, just keep the momentum. Of course, these are one of those games that anything can happen. You don't want nobody to get hurt going into playoffs. So I think it's kind of like the game flow. We'll see how the game is going. See how the game is going, and you kind of just go off it from there. If we win the game, win the game. If it's a game where we're not winning the game, don't force it. You know what I mean? Because we're playing for something bigger. We don't have anything to lose. They have everything to lose. So I think it's just kind of see how the game's going, and just trust our coaches that they'll make the right decision.
What's the vibe around this group right now? You guys have had, just been on a tear ever since you came back from the break, and it looks like you guys are having a good time. Just what's the feel?
What you say? You in here? You hear we laughing? We having fun. I think that's what makes everything much easier. When you're having fun, it's kind of makes the job light. You know what I mean? Versus like you being so serious and cookie cutter. Like it's no fun in that. We try to have fun with it, and that's why we've been winning these games. And as you can see, one of our rookie who plays the most, and but it keeps it fun. It keeps us wanting to come here and do our job even more because we do have fun versus it being like a dragon type of thing. But we in playoffs, so we want to keep it fun, but also when it's time to be serious, be serious because the next layer everybody's gonna have to step it up a notch.
Just one last one from me. Not to skip over today, but going into playoffs, thinking about playoffs, what's the one thing that y'all got to make sure you stay up on top of to have success?
I think mentally, just stay focused and locked in. Defense is going to be very key during the playoffs. I think you hear it all the time. Defense wins games. As you know, we can score the ball. Like, we don't have an issue with scoring the ball. But I think defense is going to be very key. I think that's going to be one of our main focus. And if we can key in on that and steal possessions, I think we'll be fine. We'll play at anybody.
Perfect. Thank you.
Writing about Kelsey, and I'm just curious with looking at how she's kind of leveled up even more this year, if there's anything that stands out to you about what she's been able to do over the last couple.
I think I tell people all the time, sometimes, trauma either can make or break you. And I think she's using, losing her father early on as a weapon right now, and that nobody can really stop her right now. She's shooting probably over 50% from the 3 in from the field. And I think that easily she could have broken and, not been good for us at all. And right now she's making her dad proud, and she's killing it. You know what I mean? So credit to Kelsey, because I know what that's like to lose a parent during the season. So for her to be able to excel and go over what she even expect from herself during this time, and just credit to that. She's one of the best players in this league. Easily one of my top 5 picks, players that's in this league, easily.
And what do you think that says about her as a person, that she's been able to tap into that strength?
I mean, like I said, when you go through things, it's either going to make or break you. And she's showing the world that it didn't break her. She's showing the world that she's a strong human being, that to any, young kid that's watching her, that's struggling, that's going through anything, or be able to, be inspired by her story, because like this is a high stressful job. This is not a job where you could just walk in here and just do whatever you want and think it'll be peaches and cream. So for her to be able to go through her daily life, be able to do her job at a high level, and and still cope with what she's coping with, I think that's inspiration for anybody that's watching her.
And have there been any particular moments or memories from this year that stand out to you as like, oh, she has found a new source of strength, she's on another level?
Maybe for me, her like 2 weeks ago when she was struggling, and she was just like, man, today's a hard one. And I was just like, dude, if you get through today, what you think tomorrow is gonna be like? If you get through it, and you can fight through today, what you think you're gonna get tomorrow? So for me, just being close to her in that aspect, because she leans on me because I've lost a parent. So for her, she wanted that guidance and ways to, kind of cope with it. And I told her, like, it's no way to cope with it. It's really like, it's day to day, because it'll hit you differently. So for me, the biggest thing is being able to see her get through those days and still be the great person that she is, the great basketball player that she is.
Anything else that you want to share about her that you think people deserve to know about?
I think she should be most improved. Honestly, that's the conversation. Because after the Olympic, even before the Olympic break, she was still hooping. Even now, I don't think nobody that's in a guard position that's touching those numbers right now. And efficient. It's not like she have those numbers and inefficient. She's efficient.
All right. I think
Kelsey got one more.
Thinking back on your first playoff experience, what comes to mind? Like, what jumped out at you that's different than the regular season?
I think people really give me too much credit when it comes to playoffs, because I played only one game. It was that elimination round, and I probably played like 15 minutes of that playoff game. So thanks for the credit. But I can just remember that was Tamika Catchings last year. It was super emotional year, being that it was for Tamika Catchings. I can just remember like the focus level, and I just felt that everybody that was on the team took everything up another notch. I don't know what that other notch is for each player in here, but I think they need to find it within themselves and just take it up another notch. Whether it's getting more sleep, keying in on whether to find out what plays they know. Excuse me, and it can be anything, but everybody has to take it up a notch, even on down to the bench. Even if I have to cheer more than what I'm cheering, even though I'm doing that a lot, but everybody needs to take it up a notch.